Well, good morning, Neomat Team. I'd like to start as usual by recognizing some of the incredible members of our organization. And today it's going to be two of our student team members. First, a big congratulations to Dr. Tori Check. Tori, or Dr. Check, is our first student to complete the combined PharmD PhD program in integrated pharmaceutical medicine. She successfully defended her thesis to become the first Neomed double doctorate in the College of Pharmacy. An incredible accomplishment and a great deal of work behind that. For those of you who've defended a thesis for your PhD before, you know this is one of the most difficult things that you can ever achieve as an academic accomplishment. I also want to recognize, actually not a student, recognize Elaine Garigian. Garigian. She was recognized by the AAMC, the Association of American Medical Colleges, as the Bronze Award winner for Writing Excellence and the Robert G. Fenley Writing Awards. Sadly, I must also share that Neomed lost one of its biggest treasures recently. Dr. Dinah Fadina passed away, although not unexpected, as she had a bout with a lengthy disease process. She was a dedicated alumnus, friend, mentor, and role model. She will be greatly missed, but her impact and her legacy will always continue on and be an important part of who we are at Neomed. I would also like to recognize Dr. Stephen Schmidt, Mr. Rod Ingram, and Michael Wright, and so many others who've been involved in the work in our new Vitals program. Last week, we heard from Dr. Toyin Ajayi. For those of you who attended, I think you can attest it was one of the most amazing presentations that we've heard this year, if not amazing presentations you've heard over the course of the last decade. In fact, it has been captured for posterity virtually and will be made available on our website. It is absolutely a discussion that every healthcare professional and healthcare professional trainee should hear about how we can improve the delivery of medicine to be very patient-centric and to look after those of our population who are underserved and under-resourced. This wonderful program continues to amaze us. And next month, I encourage all of you to attend on March 4th at 5 p.m. when Dr. Cliff Magarian will share his leadership principles with us. Dr. Magarian is the new CEO of University Hospitals throughout Northeast Ohio, and we're really excited to hear his presentation. I encourage all of you to attend. Now, this is the time where we talk about our COVID update, something that has become part and parcel of everything we do over the course of the last year. We are now well over a year into our pandemic and pandemic operations, and hopefully we see a tunnel ahead. We certainly know there's been a precipitous drop in the curves, both nationally and within Ohio, and we hope this continues to show improvement. At the same time, our population is being vaccinated to bring an end to this pandemic. Locally, we've had 6 new cases. 4 of those are employees, and 2 of those were students, 1 medical student and 1 pharmacy student. And they've all been managed appropriately, and we've had no high risk issues here on our campus. We are continuing to work to make resources available to our employees and to our students. We have free home test kits available in our pharmacy. We ask that you please use the pharmacy drive-through lane to limit any risk of cross-infection. But those kits are available to you at no charge. They were given to us by Portage County. The kits do require that the users get online and have a virtual presentation with a healthcare provider. That is all at no cost, and the instructions are part of the kit. So we ask that you, if you would like one, to please go through the drive-through pharmacy. They are available now. We expect that as these are diminished, they will also be replenished by Portage County. They're asking us to get these out broadly. They're simply for you, for peace of mind, and to better understand whether or not you are positive with the virus, whether you are symptomatic or asymptomatic. But the kits are available right now. It's one kit per person going through the lanes. They've also announced through Portage County that free testing is available at the Midway Drive-In. This will be available Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. It is no need for you to schedule an appointment. You just drive in. It's PCR-based testing, so it's highly accurate, and you'll get your results back in a short period of time. We encourage you to use this to better understand what your risks are, as well as better understand what the current status of the community is. I'd also like to thank our operations team for supporting Portage County's vaccination protocols here on the Neomat campus. Last Saturday, we vaccinated 270 members of our community from the Category 1B group. We'll continue to support those vaccination drives every Saturday here on our campus for the foreseeable future. And finally, many of you know we've been working hard to get our clinical students vaccinated. Initially, they were all to be covered under 1A. However, with the change in structure for the vaccination program that was dictated through the governor's office and the Ohio Department of Health, the 1A vaccination period had ended. And so many of our students were left without vaccinations. At this point, we've managed to get all of our clinical medicine and pharmacy students vaccinated except 38, and we are continuing to work and advocate for those students to be able to get them vaccinated very shortly. I also want to recognize our team in the College of Medicine. That's the entire team in the College of Medicine for all of the work they've been doing to get us through our new site visit that'll be taking place in February, just a few short weeks away from now. This has required incredible preparation, as well as over a year's worth of modifications, optimization, and changes to structure, curriculum, resources, in order to be able to get through the LCM accreditation process. So all of us are here to support the College of Medicine, to do what we can to help them through this process, but I'm confident that under the leadership of Dr. Young and her team, that we will be able to get through this successfully. Unfortunately, we won't hear until June what the results from the LCME site survey will be. However, again, confident that we'll get through this successfully. I'd also like to recommend that all of you take the opportunity to attend the virtual Lunar New Year celebration on February 17th. This is being sponsored by our Asian Pacific American Medical Student Association, and that you also consider attending the annual Asclepian Ball this Saturday on the 13th of February. This is a charity event to support scholarships in the name of Sarah Cho and Tahini Mansour. And finally, I encourage you to attend the Diversity Forum on February 25th from 5 to 7 p.m. We're going to hear from Dr. Haywood Harris, who will share the outcomes of the CSU partnership program that took place over a course of 8 years here at Neomed. And at that time, we'll also hear from many of the students who went through the program and the impact that it's had on their lives. And finally, as an update, our strategic plan is going well. I want to thank so many of you for being involved in that program and continuing to support that program. We have over 100 members of our team who are actively engaged in committees, working groups, and sub-working groups to shape not just the intent of the plan that was approved by our Board of Trustees in September, but the implementation process, figuring out the goals, the objectives, and our short-term, midterm, and long-term metrics that we'll be measuring to show that we're having success in that area. And this is an exciting time for all of us. I really think you're going to see tremendous change and impact here at Neomed over the course of the next year. I'm excited to be here working on this with you. And I think all of us are going to be even more proud of what a great organization we are part of. With that, I'm going to keep it short and open it up for any questions. Michael?
Yes, the first question we have, is there any news on when staff can expect to be vaccinated?
We don't have any news at this time. I just spoke with Dr. Kasmer. Our pharmacy has still not received a clearance date for when they will receive vaccine here on campus. We are ready for it. We've brought in the refrigeration necessary to do it, and our pharmacy personnel are trained to make that happen. Currently, when you get it is all going to be based on the structured plan, the phased-in plan that's been laid out by the federal government and its modification by the governor's office of the state of Ohio. We are still in 1B at this time. And so most of us are not going to be able to receive that because the majority of us are not in the age range, or fortunately not having the health issues where you fall into a criteria for being prioritized. Our students in the clinical space were being treated as 1A, which was the priority population. So I think most of you should be able to get a sense of when that will be based on the state website in the Department of Health, which has laid out their phased-in plan for when vaccinations will take place over time. As soon as we can do it, you'll hear from us, because we're going to encourage all of you to come in and get your vaccine. As we have it available on campus, it'll certainly be made available. But again, we have to follow the state prioritization rules.
Will staff who are vaccinated be subject to the random testing that has been mentioned for campus personnel?
Yes. So the governor has asked us to do random testing to include students, especially students, but also faculty and staff. And so we are going, once we receive the test kits, and we have not received those yet, we will begin the process. The governor's asked for a minimum of 3% of the population, but later came out and said he would prefer we do 20% as our new minimum. Most campuses are doing that or more. In fact, Ohio State University is shooting for 100% population testing week over week. Our team running the COVID task force didn't feel that that was necessary. So we are going to do random selection. We will email in advance, as was noted in the email, and we will ask you to come in and to get tested. The intent is simply to meet the governor's requirement that we monitor what our rate on campus is, so that their team has the ability to understand and control transmission and respond in real time, or at least in somewhat delayed real time, to be able to address issues where there are bigger outbreaks occurring. And remember, the governor is a key piece of the state leadership that helps determine funding for public institutions. And so I think it's very important that we do our best to work with the governor and what his requests are, the Department of Health, and it's just the right thing to do.
Currently, does asymptomatic testing cause increase of false positive rates?
So we don't really understand the tests very well. There's some data to show that asymptomatic testing may have an increase in false positive rates. We need to really see more scientific literature on this. Most of the tests that are on the market were tested for symptomatic patients and received clearance from the FDA for that. However, the test that's being handed out currently is the home Binax Now test, which has been approved under the emergency use authorization for asymptomatic testing also. So we'll have to wait until the data comes out to make it a little bit more clear. You remember the key thing with false positives is it's not dependent on just the test itself, meaning running the sample and whether or not the antigen is detected. The real weakness is the quality of sample that is acquired. We know that sampling quality increases dramatically for people who've been trained to do this appropriately. The home use tests, in fact, are done by you, which is why there's a requirement to be able to do this, that you log in, you have to have a webcam, and there will be a provider who will monitor you for a 15-minute period of time, watching how you capture the sample, and then waiting with you as the test is run to provide information and guidance on interpretation.
There are no further questions this time.
Great. Well, thank you all for your time. And again, if you have the ability to support the community here, our students, our diversity programs, I do really highly encourage you to attend some of the events that are coming up. This is a very busy time for us at the university. We are heading into towards the end of the spring semester, not too far off, where we'll see match day take place and commencement, and it's all going to happen very, very quickly. So this is a time where our students need our support, and I thank you all for being there for them. Have a great day.